Hi everyone. You cannot imagine the amount of messages that I have received this weekend telling me that you guys are having a hard time graphing linear functions or basically solving for y. Before I get to those, I just want to go ahead and um, just do the very simple ones first so that way we can, practice a little bit. So these first ones, they're going to be for S6 and S7. All right. The first thing is that I want you to understand that the equation that I have in front of you is what we call slope-intercept, because in this equation, they already give you the slope and the y-intercept. So here, the m is what stands for your slope, okay? And the b is your y-intercept. So on S6, all you had to do, if they were giving you equations, if they went ahead and they gave you something like y is equal to 2/3 x plus 5, all you had to do was go in there and say, well, in here, my slope is 2/3, so m was 2/3, and my y-intercept was just 5. So in this case, my y-intercept was 5. Okay, so that was S6. That was very, very, very basic. Now, for S7, you needed to go ahead and learn how to graph a line. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the equation again. Y equals mx plus b. So the first thing that I want you guys to understand that you're always going to start with your y-intercept. You always start with your y-intercept. This is what we call our starting point. And this is going to go on the y-axis. So you're going to plot the point on the y-axis. So this point is always going to be 0b. After you have plotted that point, then you're going to take a look at your slope, which is right here. Okay, this is my slope. So now, you're always going to do it when you're graphing lines. It is always going to be rise over run. So the rise is the one that tells you if I'm going up or if you're going down. But you're always, always, always going to go to the right. So if my slope is positive, if I have a positive slope, that means that I am going to go up from my starting point and then I'm going to go to the right. If my slope is negative, that means that I am going to go down and then I am going to go to the right. Okay, very simple. So now we're going to go ahead and do some examples so that way it can help you. If you were given the equation y equals 1/3 x minus 4. So just like I mentioned a little while ago, I'm always going to start with my y-intercept. And my y-intercept is 0, 4. So it's 0, 4, and you're going to start on the -4 on the y. So there it is. There's my point. From there, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to look at my slope. And my slope is 1/3. So I ask myself, is my slope positive or is it negative? Well, in this case, it's positive. And the reason that I know it's positive is because it doesn't have a negative sign. So that means that I need to go up and then to the right. So from this point, I go up and then 1, 2, 3. And there's my other point. And I continue the pattern up, 1, 2, 3. But I know that in IXL, you only need 2 points. But if you had to do this on paper, you would need to go ahead and complete the other half. So then I would do the opposite. 1 down and 3 to the other side. And then you would just continue. And then I would just go ahead and draw my line. And that's it, guys. Okay? But don't worry, I'm going to keep on practicing with you guys. All right. So now I have y equals negative 4 over 5x plus 5. Again, I am going to start with my y-intercept. So my y-intercept is 5, or just 0, 5. So I'm going to start on the 5. There you go. And then I'm going to follow my slope. Well, this time there is a negative sign. It is negative 4 over 5. And because it's negative, it's telling me that I need to go down 4 and 5 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's my other point. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's my last point. I get my line, and there it is. Okay, next one. All right, y equals negative 4x. As you can see on this one right here, I am missing something. Well, you probably already guessed it. I am missing my y-intercept. So technically it's not missing, it's just an invisible number that I don't see. And that invisible number that I don't see is the 0. So my y-intercept is 0. So you guessed it, we are going to be starting at the origin. There you go. Now in this case, my slope is not a fraction. So what's the natural thing to do to create a fraction? I am going to put it under or above 1. You put a 1 under it. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put a 1 underneath. So here we go. And now I have my fraction, negative 4 over 1. And because it's a negative number, I'm going down 4. And I'm going to go to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to do the opposite to complete the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. There. 1, 2, 3, 4. There. And here comes my line. There you go. Beautiful. Okay. Now, I have 2x plus 9. So same as before. 9 would be my y-intercept. So it would be 0, 9. I plot my point. Identify my slope, which in this case it's a 2. But remember, I need to put a 1 underneath. So it's 2 over 1. So that means I need to go up 2 and 1 to the right. But if you notice, okay, I plot that point on the wrong place. Okay, all right, so here it is. It's at 9. But if you notice, I cannot go up 2 because I ran out of room. But if I were to do it, I could go up 1, 2, and 1 across. So it's somewhere up here. At least it's going to guide me and tell me in which direction my line is going. So now I know that I can go ahead and do the opposite. Okay, down 2, 1 to the left, down 2, and then we just connect them. Okay, so this was enough for S7. For S14, I am going to be uploading some pictures because all I wanted you guys to do was just to fill out the table and out of that table, get 2 points and then graph them on the graph paper, on the graph that they gave you. And then that was it, okay? But I'm gonna go ahead and upload those. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do was S20 and S21. Now, for some of you, it was kind of hard, okay? And for some of you, you did it in 2-3 minutes, okay? So that's fine, all right? So we're going to learn horizontal and vertical lines, okay? So first, we're going to take a look at horizontal lines. Remember that horizontal lines are the ones that go left and right. These, the slope is 0. Okay? So they are always going to be your horizontal lines that go from left to right or right to left, however you want to do it. When you have an equation, it is always going to be y equals a number. You are going to plot that point into the y-axis. So this number, it's going to go on the y-axis. And then you draw your horizontal line. Okay. Now, let's look at our vertical lines. So your vertical lines, those are the ones that go up and down. Ew, I hate that up and down. Look at that. Okay. There you go. Beautiful. And these are the ones that have a slope that is undefined. So the slope is undefined. Okay? And this one's, it's always, the equation is always going to be x equals a number. And like in the other ones, this number, you're going to plot it on the x-axis. That's where you would start. Plot the point. So plot point. And then draw your vertical line. I told you these were easy. Okay? All right, so let's do 2 examples of these, one of each. All right, so I have y equals -3. All right, so the one thing I need to remember, there's a -3, and this letter tells me, hey, what? Guess what? They're going to go on the y-axis. So I'm going to plot a 3, -3 on the y-axis. So now I need to figure out if my line is going to be vertical or horizontal. So the one way that I can do it is that if my line were to go this way, it is passing through the -3, but I cannot see my axis. It's actually covering it up. So I automatically know that that's not where it goes. So my line is going to go like that. On the y, it's going to go right there, going through the -3, and you can see the axis very nicely. And if I needed to go ahead and get any points from there, I can get 0, 3, -3, 1, -3, 2, -3, and you notice that all of these y values are -3. My slope, just like we said before, is 0. Y-intercept, it's going to be at the -3 because that's where it's passing on the y-axis. Now I'm going to go ahead and do 1 with an x value. okay? So again, -4. I'm going to plot the -4. Where? On the x-axis. Hello. So I'm going to go on the x-axis and I am going to plot a -4. Again, if I were to go ahead and do my line like this, you can't see it very well because it's covering up the x-axis. So we know that it's wrong. So here it goes. And it goes up and down. So now this tells me that my slope is undefined. And this one, let's see, my y-intercept, well, it's not touching the y-axis. I mean, it's not touching it whatsoever. So if I were to move this line, it's not touching this one. So guess what? In this case, we say none because there isn't any. Okay? Like I said, a lot of you were able to get it right away. There were a few of you that needed it. So here it is. Here is a one where everybody was going crazy. Okay? So now, solving for y. This is where some of you are having a lot of difficulty. Why? Because they're giving it to you in a different way. So they're giving it to you like this. AX plus BY equals C is what we call standard form. In a case like this is the only thing that is staying. Everything else has got to go. Everything else has got to go. Okay? Or you're probably seeing this. Y minus Y1 is equal mx minus x1. And this is your point slope. And in this case, this is the only thing that I need to stay. Okay, so let's do some examples and let's figure out how to work these type of problems. Okay, so now we're gonna do just S12. So all we're gonna do is we are gonna go ahead and solve for y. So let me take this out because we really don't need that part. Okay, we really don't need that. I should have taken it out before, but I completely forgot. Okay, so now I have 5x minus 3y is equal to 7. Okay, so now, like I said before, the y is the only thing that should be on the left side of my equal sign. So if I were to draw a line, that is the only thing, because remember, it needs to look like y equals mx plus b. So the first thing that I'm going to start is going to be with my x value. The whole point of this is that I need to go ahead and bring this 5x over to the right side. And the way that I bring it, I need to take the opposite value. So in this case, I have a positive 5x. So I need to do minus 5x. And I need to do minus 5x because remember, what I do on one side, I do it on the other. So the 5x's cancel. Now on the right side, I have 7 minus 5x. And as I've been looking at some of your work that some of you are asking for help, some of you are giving me 2x over here on the right side, and that's a big no-no. Like, no, no, no. You can't do it. No. And the reason that you cannot do it, it's because the 7 does not have an x. So they are not like terms. You can't do that, okay? So you're just going to keep them separated. So it's negative 5x plus 7. Okay. On the left side, I have the 3y. But please, please, please be careful because there's a negative sign there. And you also have to bring it down. Some of you are forgetting that little negative, and that's what's throwing the whole thing off. So now I have to divide by -3 because I want to leave y by itself. So now I'm going to divide by -3. Please do not forget that. And I am going to divide by -3. And I'm going to divide by -3. So now I have y by itself. So it's y equals, well, negative divided by a negative is a positive. And I don't have a calculator, but I know for a fact that I have 5/3x. 7 divided by -3 is just going to stay as -7/3. Now, some of you were like, Miss, it can't be right because I have a fraction as my y-intercept. Who cares? You're not graphing, okay? Since you're not graphing, you're done. This is your equation. You've already solved for y, okay? And you just leave it like that. All right, let's go do another one. Okay, so now in this case, I have -4x minus 2y equals 10. I am going to do the same thing. The -4 needs to go to the right side. And in this case, because I do have a -4, I am going to add 4x. So I'm going to add 4x to both sides because I want to cancel it. So again, please be careful. I do have a -2y, so that is going to come down. I cannot combine 10 plus 4x. Okay, now I'm just going to do 4x. The 10 is positive, so I put a plus 10. Now, please remember that you need to divide by the -2. And I'm almost positive, guys, that it's not because you don't know how to do the work. You're forgetting those darn negatives, and that's what's throwing the whole thing off. So now in this case, I'm left with y equals 4 divided by -2 is -2x. 10 divided by -2 is -5. Guess what? That's it. We're done. Miss, you always make it look so easy. Yeah, right. Okay. Next one. I'm just going to go ahead and do one more. All right. So here, again, here goes my line. I know that the -6x has to go to the right. The way that I'm going to do it, I am going to add 6x to both sides. All right. So I can get rid of it, so I can cancel it. And I know I love giving you negatives because that's the only way you're going to remember. You have to bring the whole thing down. And I'm going to have 6x minus 12. Well, what's my next step? Exactly. I need to divide by -5. Okay? So now here I have y equals 6 divided by -5. It's going to be -6/5x. -12 divided by a -5. Two negatives makes it a positive 2/5. But Miss, it's a fraction. I don't care. But Miss, I don't care. I'm not graphing. I don't care. There we go. Okay? All right. I'm going to give you some in the point slope format. So if I were to give you y plus 8 is equal to negative 3x plus 2. Okay? Well, what we learned from PEMDAS is that whenever you see a set of parentheses, you're always going to distribute. So I'm going to distribute the negative 3 to the x. So that would give me negative 3x. And I'm going to distribute the negative 3 to the 2. And that's going to give me minus 6. All right, cool. Now I'm just going to bring this down. Y plus 8. Okay? I have to leave the y by itself. So now I have to leave the y by itself. How do I do that? By getting rid of that 8. So what I'm going to do, because they're adding an 8, I'm going to subtract an 8. Miss, I'm confused because I don't know which number to subtract it from. Well, if I put in here, that 8 doesn't have an x, so it's not going to combine. So nope, it doesn't go there. It goes with the negative 6. I cross it out. Y equals negative 3x minus 14. And that's it. There's my answer. Voila! There you go. Okay, another one. Y minus 2 is equal to negative 2/3 x minus 9. Okay, so let's see. Step 1. There goes my line. Step 2. I see parentheses, so I need to distribute. Negative 2/3 times x is negative 2/3 x. Negative 2/3 times negative 9. Well, I'm going to do the math down here. Negative 2/3 times negative 9. Negative 2 times negative 9 is negative 18. 3 times 1 is 3. Negative 18 divided by 3 is minus 6. Simple, simple for those of you that don't have calculators. And I just bring this down. Y minus 2. Again, I need to leave that y by itself. So what am I gonna do? Get rid of the negative 2. You were right, because I know that's what you guys were thinking. So I'm gonna add 2, and I'm going to add 2. So now that cancels, and I have y equals negative 2/3 x minus 4. And there we go. All right, so let's start graphing. Okay, so now that was S12, so now this is going to be S19. Okay, S19. We cannot graph it because it is not in y equals mx plus b, so I need to get it there. Just like we did a little while ago, okay? Just like we did a little while ago, I need to bring this to this side. Well, how am I going to do it? It's a positive 2x, so I'm going to subtract 2x. And I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. So now I have 3y is equal to negative 2x plus 9. I need to leave the y by itself, so I need to divide by 3 on both sides. So I have y equals negative 2 divided by 3 is negative 2/3 x. 9 divided by 3 is just 3. So now it's back to slope-intercept form. Well, where do we start? Yes, you remembered. Excellent. It starts at the 3, right here on the y-axis. 0, 3. So that means that I start right here. Perfect. Now if I take a look at my slope is negative 2 over 3. And because it's negative, it says, hey dude, go down 2 and 3 to the side. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, right there. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, right there. Make your line. There you go. Okay? All right, next one. This right here is the one for S22, which a lot of you did not do. I'm not even going to go there. Okay? Step 1, draw my line. Step 2, we're going to distribute. 2 over 3 times x is 2/3 x. 2/3 times negative 6. All right. 2/3 times negative 6 over 1. 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. 3 times 1 is 4. Negative 12 divided by 4 is negative 3. So this is negative 3. And then I just bring down y plus 1. Remember, I need to leave y by itself. Okay? So now that means that I need to subtract 1 from both sides. So this is gone, and I have y equals 2 over 3x minus 4. Okay, so now where is my y-intercept? Right here, negative 4. It's going to go on the y-axis at the negative 4. Right there. Okay, and my slope is 2 over 3. And because it's positive, I'm going to go up 2 and 3 to the side. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Get my line and connect my points. Okay, guys? I hope this has helped you a little bit. Just bear with us with everything. I know that this is not the same as me being there in the classroom, but now that my son is here, he has this nice iPad program. It's the latest one. It's got the pencil, so I was able to do this, okay? But this is what I'm going to try to keep on doing, just to kind of give you a little lesson, all right? So for tomorrow, I am not going to give you any new work, but I need everyone to please do what you're missing. Your new lesson is coming on Wednesday. And yes, I will be making a video. No more YouTube videos, okay? All right, guys. I hope this helps you. Bye.